I used to think that everybody was adopted from outer space. That before we were born, we were just little seeds floating around in the sky, waiting for someone to come and get us. The selection process was random, and there was no rhyme or reason as to who our parents would be. In a way, I was right, because our chance to be born hinges on our parents' meeting. My parents met completely by chance due to a chain of events that was set in motion many years ago in a small apartment in Copenhagen. In this apartment, there lived a Danish poet called Casper Jørgensen. Casper was so worried about running out of ideas that he often could not think of anything to write. He therefore went to see Dr. Mørk, who specialized in this problem. Why don't you go on a holiday? Get some fresh air. Where can you go on holiday if you don't have any money and you don't speak French? What about Norway? It's cheap and they're practically Danish. Casper began to research Norwegian holiday possibilities. At the library he came across a book called Scandinavian Confusion about famous Swedes who were actually Norwegian and famous Norwegians who were actually Danish, and so on. This is how he discovered the Norwegian writer Sigrid Undset, who was originally Danish. She had written the epic novel Kristin Lavransdatter and had won the Nobel Prize for Literature. Kristin Lavransdatter is the story of Kristin, who is engaged to Simon. But Kristin falls in love with Erlend, and she breaks up with Simon and marries Erlend against her father's will. She regrets this fateful decision for the rest of her life and never forgives herself, no matter how many times she walks barefoot and pregnant on pilgrimage to the Nidarus Cathedral. This novel so profoundly moved Casper that he wrote a letter to Sigrid Undset. Dear Mrs. Undset, I am a Danish poet. May I please come and visit you in Norway for inspiration? Best regards, Casper Jørgensen. Dear Mr. Jørgensen, I could use a little inspiration myself nowadays. Please come and visit me anytime. Best regards, Sigrid Undset. And so it was that Casper went on holiday to Norway just as Dr. Mørk had prescribed. Casper went to the nearest farm to ask for shelter. I am a great admirer of Sigrid Undset and I'm on my way to Lillehammer to visit her. What a coincidence! My family is related to her. My third cousin's brother-in-law was Sigrid Undset's great-uncle's niece's husband's grandfather. So your family was originally from Denmark? Well, perhaps we're all originally from Denmark. Casper was offered food and shelter until the rain stopped. But as often happens in Norway, the rain never really stopped. Casper did not mind at all, for Lundegård had a beautiful daughter called Ingeborg, who tended to the chickens and romantically mapped the stars above the farm. A summer romance was in full bloom when Casper wrote a poem. Ingeborg, you changed my life. Ingeborg, please be my wife. She explained that although she would like to marry him, she was actually already engaged to the farmer across the valley. He was the son of her father's best friend and a well-respected member of the community. An August wedding was planned. This is exactly like when Kristin Lavransdatter can't marry Erland because she's engaged to Simon. But then she breaks up with him and marries Erland anyway, in spite of her father's stern objections. Not exactly. For Ingeborg had also read Kristin Lavransdatter and knew that disobeying one's father would lead to a life lived in the shadows of guilt and regret. Ingeborg gave Casper a lock of her hair and promised that she would not cut it until they were reunited. He forgot all about his intended visit to Sigrid Undset and returned to Denmark, heartbroken and empty-handed, but for the lock of his beloved's hair. How can I write when I feel so sad? Some people think that's the best time. Really,